What's up, YouTube? We back with another review. Today we're going to be reviewing episode 1 of Frieren, A Journey's End. Let's get it.
So the episode starts off with these adventurers that come back from a mission. They've defeated the so-called Demon King, and they're returning back home. And as they arrive closer to the capital of the city, they start to dwell on what they're going to do now that they've finished.
As we move forward, they get to the capital, and everybody's celebrating them. They're the heroes.
And before the party starts, they actually meet the king. He would then thank them for their accomplishments. As we continue, the party would eventually start. And as the whole capital's celebrating these heroes, fireworks go off, people are dancing, they're eating, they're having a good time. Moving along, we go back to the table of the 4 heroes. They start to think back on their adventure, the good times and the bad times they had. They laugh and joke about the 10 years they shared together.
And as we go forth, the party would officially end.
And after more jokes and fun, the 4 heroes know that this is the end of their journey. And as they all try to cope with that, something amazing happens. They look up in the sky.
And it's a rare meteor shower that they see. And as they're all looking in amazement, the anime hints at this being a new era, a new start. After this beautiful scene, the comrades would eventually go their separate ways. The anime then highlights the main character. She's an elf. Her name's Frieren. She has an interest in spells. And as she goes on her adventure to find these such spells, the audience will get a time lapse of it all, and it will highlight how beautiful this anime is, the scenery. As we move forth in her journey, Frieren would experiment with all different types of spells, but she would run into one problem. She can't find an ingredient to a certain spell she liked, and this ingredient being the shadow dragon.
She would look around but get no luck. But while brainstorming and figuring out a way to find it,
she actually remembered that during her journey with her comrades, they'd actually found the dragon horn from the demon castle. And so suddenly she makes a trip back to the capital city to go meet with Himmel the hero. She explains that he has the dragon horn. As we fast forward to the next scene, she will arrive at the capital city. She will see the different changes going on in the city. A large amount of time has passed since she's been here, but her being an elf, she barely even recognizes it. And we would get an example very soon, because as she runs into Himmel, he's aged so much, he's an old man.
Himmel then says, "Man, it's been 50 years. I thought I'd never see you again." After some jokes and some small talk, she would say, "Hey, where's the dragon horn?" As Himmel gives it to her, he tells her how he cherished it and protected it until he could give it back to her. Soon after she retrieves it, we move on to the next scene. Himmel and Frieren meets with the rest of their comrades. They all travel to the era meteor shower. And as they go on their journey to get there,
this adventure will bring back old memories to all of them. Soon there we would get to the final stop, and they would see the beautiful era meteor shower. And as this light show lights up the night sky, they lay on their back and take it all in. Everybody's so amazed. And as the meteor shower continues, Himmel in particular gets emotional. He's so happy that Frieren let him go on this final journey. And as this beautiful scene comes to the end, tragedy would strike, because Himmel would die. And as he lies in his casket, all of his comrades will react. The people in the funeral notices that they don't show any type of sad expressions. The people grow angry and start to throw stuff at him. And after this funny scene, we move on to Himmel's final burial.
During the burial, Frieren suddenly get emotional. She says, "I didn't even know him. We traveled together for 10 years. She then starts to cry and weep. Her comrades then try to cope with her being sad. As we go forth, we move to the next scene. Frieren, Eisen, and Heater share their final moments, and they actually part ways afterwards. Suddenly, the anime skips to 20 years after Himmel's death. Frieren is looking for Heater the priest, but she would get lost. And while walking through the woods, she come up on a little girl. She says she's looking for Heater the priest. The small girl then takes her to the priest's house. Frieren and the priest start to catch up. They start to joke on each other and talk about the changes that happened in their life since they last talked. And as they're talking, Frieren suddenly says, "Wait, who's the little girl?" He explains to her that her name's Frieren and she's an orphan. Frieren jokes and says, "Wait, you helping people?" She said, "You've changed." Heater then laughs at her, and then he says, "Wait, why are you here?" Frieren explains that she wants to get to know humans more, especially the ones that she's traveled with. She tells Heater she wants to come and pay her debt to him before he dies. He then says, "Oh yeah? Well, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take Fern as your apprentice." She says, "That's the one thing I can't do. She'd only get in my way, and I wouldn't want her to die." Heater says, "Well, okay, well, do one more favor for me." He hands her a grimoire. It's a book full of resurrection and immortality spells. He shares with her that he wants to live a little longer. She's surprised and said, I thought you wasn't scared of dying. He then gives her 2 reasons why he want to stay alive.
Soon thereafter, Frieren agrees to decipher the grimoire. She tells him it's going to take about 5 to 6 years. Then suddenly Heater says, wait, could you do one more thing? Could you please teach Frieren some magic? Frieren agrees, and then we get to the final scene. The young girl Frieren is so good at hiding her mana, Frieren had a hard time finding her, but she would finally catch up to her. But when she does, Frieren is actually using her magic to try to take out a rock, but her power disperses before it can reach the rock. She then asks Frieren, what can I do? Could you help me? Frieren says, wait, do you even like magic? Frieren says, somewhat. Frieren smiles and says, just like me. She must know that they have something in common. And just like that, the anime ends.